sporophytic generation, they will be diploid, and the gametophytic generation will be haploid. So haplontic life cycle is usually seen in algae. Life cycle of the plants or the alteration of generation is divided into three types, that is haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle, and haplodiplontic life cycle. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to another session on chapter 3, that is Plant Kingdom. I'm Dr. Divya, Biology Faculty, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysore, Temple of Excellence. So in the previous sessions of the chapter, that is Plant Kingdom, we had studied about the different kinds of plants or different species of plants, wherein we studied about the algae, the bryophytes, the pteridophytes, the gymnosperms, and the angiosperms. And in all these plants, you had studied about the reproduction. So when it comes to reproduction, the plants, they exhibit, be it the algae, the bryophytes, the pteridophytes, the gymnosperms, or the angiosperms, they exhibit two generations in their life cycle or in their reproductive phase. That is, one is the sporophytic generation and the other is the gametophytic generation. So in today's session, we shall study about the different types of generation that is observed in the life cycle of the plants. The plant life cycle and the alteration of generation. So what is this alteration of generation? So whenever you see a sexually reproducing plants, here you should keep in mind that these generations are seen in the sexually reproducing plants. It is not seen in the vegetative reproduction nor in the asexual reproduction. So whenever you see a sexually reproducing plants, you can see that they always alternate or they change from a sporophytic generation to a gametophytic generation. So this alteration or change that occurs is called as the alteration of generation. So what is the alteration of generation? From the sporophytic generation, they get altered to the gametophytic generation, and again they enter into the sporophytic generation. So to explain, I can take the example of a fern. So ferns, they belong to pteridophytes. So in ferns, you know that they also have a sporophytic generation as well as a gametophytic generation. So here what happens? So sporophytes, when I say that they are sporophytic generation, the sporophytes are always diploid. Diploid means they are 2n in number. Both, and the gametophytic generation is haploid. So sporophytic generation, they will be diploid, and the gametophytic generation will be haploid. So sporophytes means I'm talking about the zygote. So zygote is diploid, wherein it has 2n. So here both haploid and the diploid cells, they will be present, and these cells will divide by mitosis. When they divide by mitosis, it will lead to the formation of different plant bodies. So different plant bodies, the plant body can either be haploid or it can be diploid. So throughout this session, I'll be using the term haploid or diploid. So what is this haploid or diploid? So whenever meiosis occurs, it is also called as the reduction division. So you know that in an organism, say for example, humans, we have 46 chromosomes. So when meiosis occurs, there is reduction division. The chromosomes will get reduced to half. It means that we will have only 23 chromosomes left. So say for example, this is a cell. So they have pairs of chromosome. So this is diploid. They are diploid. So when they undergo meiosis, which is reduction division, so if it is equational division, then the diploid cell will have the same set of chromosomes as it is if it is mitosis, that is equational division. But if it is reduction division, they will have haploid set of chromosomes. So these diploids, they will have haploid. So say for example, the cell will have only one set of chromosomes. So this is haploid. So you know the difference now between haploid and diploid. So that is what. So there is an alteration of the generation between the diploid and the haploid. And as I told you, I took the example of fern. So in fern, what happens when you look at a fern, the main plant body of the fern is sporophyte. So what are sporophytes? Though the plant body that bears the spore will be the sporophyte. Sporo means spores, phyta means plant, so sporophytes. And the main plant body will be the sporophyte, and the other organ, that is the one that produces the gametes, will be the gametophyte. So first from the sporophyte it will enter into the gametophytic generation. So sporophytes, they divide by meiosis, and after meiosis the spores are produced. These spores, they germinate and they produce the gametophyte. In the gametophyte they will have the male and the female gamete. The male and the female gamete, that is the antheridia and the archegonia. So the antheridia, that is the male gamete, they will produce the anthrozoids. Male gamete will produce the anthrozoids, and the anthrozoids, that is, they undergo fuse with the female gamete, and after the fusion there is production of the sporophytic generation again. So this is how the life cycle will continue actually. And here the plant body, after that the plant body will represent the gametophyte. Why? Because, so first it will have the sporophyte. Why? Because there are no gametes present in that. In first half of the generation, only in the plant body spores will be there. After the haploid plant body that is there, so that will undergo division. That is, it will start to produce gametes. So once it produces gametes, the gametes will fuse, and so once the haploid plant produces gametes by mitosis, the plant body will become a gametophyte. Now it is a gametophyte. Why? Because as I told you, the male and the female gamete will be present in that. That is why it will become a gametophyte. So once the gametophytic generation enters, now we have the male plant body and the female plant body. Since I'm taking the example of fern here to make you understand, when it is a male gametophyte, means they have the antheridia. If it is a female gametophyte, they have the archegonia, right? So the antheridia will produce the anthrozoids. So these anthrozoids, actually, they move towards these anthrozoids, they start to move towards they're flagellated. So therefore, with the help of water, they will start to move towards the mouth of the female reproductive structure, and they will fuse with the female gamete. So after fertilization, so when this fusion occurs, what happens? It will result in the formation of the zygote. Now it is diploid. The zygote that divides by mitosis, and it will produce a diploid sporophytic plant body. So therefore, what has happened here? From the haploid plant body, which was the gametophytic generation, it got converted, it entered into the diploid generation, that is the sporophytic generation, which is diploid. So this is nothing but alteration of generation. So here the haploid spores are produced by the plant body. Which plant body? Sporophytic plant body, that is by meiosis, and these in turn divide by mitosis to form a haploid plant body once again. That is, from the sporophyte it forms a gametophyte, again from the gametophyte to the sporophyte. Here what happens? There is an exchange between the haploid and the diploid condition of the cycle of generation of the plant. So that is why it is called as alteration of generation. So based on the changes that is occurring in the stages or the development of the plant, based on the alteration that is occurring in the plant between the sporophytic generation and the gametophytic generation, based on the type of division that is taking place, whether it is haploid division, or that is whether it is meiosis wherein it will produce haploid spores, or mitosis wherein it will produce the diploid cells. Here alteration of generation of a plant is of three types, that is haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle, and haplodiplontic life cycle. So haplontic life cycle is usually seen in algae. So this haplontic life cycle is usually seen in algae. So the best examples are, we have Chlamydomonas. So in Chlamydomonas, then volvox. So in these algal species, the haplontic life cycle is seen. So what is haplontic? So in the name itself, it suggests that haplontic means the haploid generation. That is, so which is the haploid generation? The gametophytic generation, right? Because the gametes are haploid in number, n in number. Here you can see the haplontic generation occupies the major part, or so the life cycle is actually slow. It occupies the major part. So that is why it is haplontic. Here haplontic life cycle or haplontic portion of the generation, it is, or the gametophytic generation which are haploid are dominant over the sporophytic generation. That is why it is called as haplontic life cycle. So here as we can see, I told you, first we have the sporophytic generation. So in the sporophytic generation, what is there? The sporophytes will have a diploid zygote, right? So whenever the term comes zygote, you should understand it is something related to the sporophytic generation. But from where did the zygote arise? It arises by the fusion of the gametes. So the fusion of the gametes and all that is nothing but gametophytic generation, okay? But once the zygote is developed, it is the sporophytic generation. So here what happens, the zygote which is diploid, so here you can see it is diploid 2n. So I have already told you what haploid and diploid are. So zygote which is diploid, it will undergo meiosis. So when it undergoes meiosis, what happens? Spores are produced. So from the spores, from the production of the haploid spores to the gametophyte and the gametogenesis, all these are gametophytic generation. So remember, spores, gametophyte, and the gametogenesis process, all these are gametophytic generation, whereas fertilization, that is nothing but syngamy, and the zygote, one more step, that is the zygote undergoing meiosis, all this comes under the sporophytic generation. So here what happens? First zygote will be there. These zygotes, they undergo meiosis and they start to produce spores which are haploid in number. So the spores are haploid. These spores later on develop into the gametophyte. So the first is, this much is the it occurs in the sporophytic stage, sporophytic, and this much it occurs in the gametophytic. So gametophytic. So these will undergo reduction division, that is meiosis. Therefore, the spores will be haploid. So now they have entered into the haploid stage of the gametophytic generation. So they will be haploid. These spores will again undergo division, or it will undergo meiosis to produce the gametophyte. So what are the gametophytes? They are the structures that bear the gametes, that is the male and the female gamete. And you know that in sexual reproduction, male and female gametes are very, very important. These gametophytes will undergo gametogenesis. So what is gametogenesis? Gametophytes are responsible for the production of the male and the female gamete. So once the haploid gametophytes are formed, again they will undergo reduction division to produce the gametes. So these gametes, the production of the gametes is nothing but gametogenesis. So gametogenesis, you can remember it like this in two words. So gamete means gametes, the male and the female gamete, and one more word, genesis. So this word and this word, two different words. Genesis means to generate something, to give birth to something, to develop something new. So here, what has it generated? The gametophyte has generated by reduction division, it has generated two gametes, that is the male and the female gamete. So here the male and the female gamete will be produced. So these male and the female gamete, after male and female gametes are produced in the respective reproductive structures, that is the female gametophyte and the male gametophyte, what is left next? Fertilization, which is nothing but syngamy. So the male gamete will move towards the female gamete, they will fuse, and after fusion what happens? The mitosis will occur. Because mitosis occurs, what happens? It is a diploid zygote. So therefore, majority of the portion in the life cycle of the algae, they are the haplontic stage, that is the gametophytic stage, which are haploid in nature. That is why this particular life cycle is called as the haplontic life cycle. Diplontic life cycle. So diplontic, the name itself suggests that majority of the portion is occupied by the diploid stage of the life cycle, that is the sporophytic stage. So in the previous one, gametophytic stage was dominant. That is why anything that is related to the gametophytic stage, they'll have reduction division, that is meiosis will take place. They will have haploid cells. So that is why it is called as haplontic life cycle. But in the case of diplontic life cycle, here the dominant phase is the sporophyte. So anything related to the sporophyte, they are always diploid in nature. That is, they undergo mitosis. So therefore, majority of the portion in the case of diplontic life cycle is occupied by the sporophytic generation. So here in the cycle itself, you can understand they are alternating between the sporophytic generation and the gametophytic generation. It is a continuous process. It will keep on going. That is why it is a cycle. It is a cycle. So we'll move on to the diplontic life cycle. So here the sporophyte. So sporophyte, it is the dominant phase. So sporophyte is nothing but general plant body that contains the spores. So these sporophytes, they have the spores which are diploid in nature, and these spores, they undergo meiosis, that is reduction division, and once they produce the haploid spores, so you can see here haploid spores. So once they produce the haploid spores, they will enter into the gametophytic generation. Now, until meiosis, it is a sporophytic generation. So once the spores will be diploid. So those spores which will undergo meiosis and become haploid will enter into the gametophytic generation, and these spores will result in the production of the gametophyte. So the gametophyte is the plant body that bears the gametes. So in the gametophyte, gametogenesis will occur. That is, the production of the male and the female gametes will occur. So these so I told you this type of alteration of generation is usually seen in sexual reproduction. Because why? Because here always male and female gametes are involved. So in gametogenesis, there is generation or the genesis or the birth of the male and the female gametes. So next, it will enter into the sporophytic generation. So these male and female gametes, they are haploid. So when they fuse, so for example, the male gamete is haploid and the female gamete is haploid. So what happens when they fuse? They will result in the production of zygote, which is diploid. So fuse, they are fusing. So NN2N, they are fusing. So they will result in the formation of a diploid zygote. So it forms a diploid zygote after syngamy, that is fusion. So once it forms a diploid zygote, it enters into the diplontic stage or the diplontic part or the sporophytic part. So this diploid zygote, again it undergoes mitosis. So mitosis means equational division. So always remember, mitosis means even if it is diploid here, the cells that are produced in the next generation or the sporophytic generation, they will also be diploid in nature, because equational, the same set of chromosomes will be carried to the other cell as well in the case of mitosis, because it is equational division. So here mitosis will occur, so the zygote will get converted into the sporophyte. Again, the sporophyte will produce spores. These spores will undergo meiosis. Again, the cycle will continue here. So as you can see here, major portion is occupied by the sporophytic generation. This is a slow and a vast phase. So that is why, since major portion is occupied by the sporophytic generation, wherein mitosis or equational division is involved, wherein all the cells will have are diploid, all the cells are diploid or 2N in nature. That is why it is called as the diplontic life cycle. So what was in haplontic life cycle? The haploid cells, those cells which were haploid were dominant, means the gametophytic generation was dominant. In the case of diplontic life cycle, those cells which underwent mitosis, having the diploid cells which are 2N in number, that is the sporophytic generation, they are dominant here. So that is why it is diplontic life cycle. So next, moving on to one more type of life cycle, that is haplodiplontic life cycle. Here in haplodiplontic life cycle, both the sporophytic phase as well as sporophytic generation as well as the gametophytic generation, they are equally dominant over each other. So that is nothing but haplodiplontic life cycle. So we shall see about this. So that is diplontic life cycle is usually seen in the higher plants, that is the gymnosperms. So we can find them in gymnosperms. and angiosperms. So this kind of diplontic life cycle is usually found in gymnosperms as well as in angiosperms. So next, moving on to haplodiplontic life cycle. As the name itself suggests, I told you both are equally important here. It is not that one is dominant over the other. Both the haploid stage as well as the diploid stage, they occupy equal positions in the alteration of the generation. So here what happens, again, as I can see you, the plant body will be there. So the plant body is nothing but the sporophyte. So the sporophyte, it is diploid. It is 2n. It is diploid. So the diploid sporophyte is there here. This diploid sporophyte, it will, so what is the function of the sporophyte? To produce the spores, right? So these spores actually, they undergo, so these spores when they produce, they are also 2n in number, okay, 2n. So these spores which are diploid, they will undergo meiosis. So when they undergo meiosis, what happens? 2n, half of it, meiosis means reduction division. Half of the chromosomes will be set. So therefore, if it undergoes meiosis, it will become N. Right? So here what happens? The spores, now they are haploid. So they are haploid. So these haploid spores, some of the spores will undergo meiosis and those become haploid. So those haploid spores, they will enter into the gametophytic generation. They will produce the gametophyte. So what is the gametophyte? The plant body contain. See, it is easy for you to remember if you understand the terms. Sporophyte. Phyte means plant. Spore means, again I'll show you here itself, sporophyte. I'll divide it into two words, spore and phyte. So sporo means spores. In spores, there is no male and female kind of thing, okay? So it is spores, it is general, it is spores. Phyte means plant. So that plant body which produces the spores will be the sporophyte. So that plant body will produce the spores. That is, by mitosis they will produce the spores. So these spores are also, what is that? Diploid. Again, the diploid spores will undergo meiosis and it will produce the haploid spores. So these are the haploid spores. So these haploid spores will produce the gametophyte. So what is a gametophyte? So I'll divide it again here into two. Gamete and phyte. So gamete means they produce the sex organs. So they produce the male gamete and they will produce the male gamete. So, and also remember this, male, I'll just write it here, male is always represented in biology. It is represented like this because you can remember it like this. Male, they are dominant. That is why the face of a man with a, he thinks always he is superior, he is dominant. So the face of the man with the arrow mark pointing towards the top means he is dominant. In a society, usually it is considered, even today it is considered that male is dominant, right? So you can represent, it is represented like this. And female, they always, you can, it is easy to remember. Female, we always like something beauty, right? So we always like looking into mirrors. So you can draw it like a mirror, holding a mirror. So you can remember it like this. So it produces, so coming back, these gametophyte means, you can divide it into two parts, gamete and phyte. So gamete means they will produce the, it is the male and the female gamete, male and the female gamete. Phyte means, again here, plant. So that plant body that produces the male and female gamete. So now meiosis has occurred. Again here reduction division meiosis, which is haploid. Now these gametophytes will produce the gametes. So the production of the gamete is nothing but gametogenesis. Here gametogenesis, the genesis or the birth of the gametes, that is the male and the female gamete, will take place. Once the male and the female gamete is produced, their function is now to fuse with each other, because if they have to continue their life cycle or produce a progeny, then they have to fuse with each other. So they will fuse. So when it fuses, they produce diploid. So here fusion will occur. Say for example, again I will write it here, female will fuse with the male. So female is haploid here, male is haploid. Therefore what happens when fusion is occurring, they will produce the zygote which is diploid. N plus N, it will become diploid. Now they will produce a zygote which is diploid. This diploid zygote, again it will undergo mitosis, that is equational division, mitosis. Then they will produce the sporophyte. So you might be wondering why this mitosis, meiosis and all that occurs. So everything in a body or in a plant body or in an animal body or any matter in any organism, the cells has to divide. One cell has to become two, two has to become four, then only we grow, right? Imagine if the cell did not divide, human beings and plants or animals, we would be unicellular, right? So that is why all this division is very, very important here. So they'll undergo mitosis. So when mitosis occurs, the cells will divide. So the number of cells will increase. How? Each cell will have 46. Say for example, 46 I'm using for the human beings. For plants, it will have different sets of chromosomes of its own. So say for example, it will divide and they will produce the sporophyte. So once the sporophyte again. So now you can see here, both the generation occupies the same position there. They are neither dominating one or the other. They occupy the same phase or the same time. So that is why it is called as haplodiplontic life cycle. So haplodiplontic life cycle is usually seen in bryophytes, and in pteridophytes. So therefore, what did you learn today? You learned that the plants, when during their reproductive phase, they enter into different generations. That is, alteration of generation will occur between the sporophytic generation and the gametophytic generation. So in the sporophytic generation, which is dominant, and whether the sporophytic is dominant, whether the gametophytic is dominant, or both are equally dominant over each other, based on that the life cycle of the plants or the alteration of generation is divided into three types, that is haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle and haplodiplontic life cycle. So I hope you have understood this session wherein we studied about the alteration of generation, which is very, very important for the life cycle of a plant. So the chapter actually ends here. That is plant kingdom. So in the next sessions, we shall start with the new chapter, that is animal kingdom. So in animal kingdom, we shall also study about the different classes or the phylum or the classes of animals. And you know that this chapter, it is very vast because there are a vast variety or biodiversity of animals that is present in this world. So it is an interesting chapter. So we shall meet again in the next coming chapter, that is animal kingdom. Thank you.